That last-minute purchase feels harmless, until you realize how often just this once is quietly draining your money. The checkout line can turn emotion into expensive decisions in seconds. But once you understand what triggers the impulse, you can pause, take control, and make your money serve your goals instead of your cravings. I told myself it was just a small reward. After a stressful day, I deserved it. One click, that's all it took. It didn't feel like spending money, it felt like relief. But relief always comes with a receipt. The package was already on its way, and I already felt different, like I had upgraded my life. That feeling didn't last long. The excitement turned into silence, and silence turned into bills. I kept saying it was under control, but my credit card disagreed. Every bad day became a reason. Every emotion had a price tag. Happy? I bought something.
If you made it this far, you already know your brain is capable of more. The first link in the pinned comment reveals the simple reading method thousands are using to absorb information faster, remember more, and think with greater clarity. Don't wait until everyone else gets ahead. See it while it's still there.
Sad? I bought something too. Stress? That was the worst trigger. I wasn't spending money anymore. I was escaping. And escape always comes back with interest. I finally realized I wasn't buying things. I was buying moments of relief. And I didn't even notice when it became a habit. It started small, just treats after work. Then it stopped feeling like a choice. It felt like something I had to do. And every time, I promised it was the last time. But the cycle never broke, because stress always came back stronger. And spending was the fastest escape. No planning, no thinking, just reaction. And reaction is expensive. I started noticing something. The happiness never stayed. It disappeared before the package even arrived. But the debt stayed, and it grew quietly. I told myself I would fix it next month. But next month always looked the same. Work, stress, spend, repeat. I thought I was living life, but I was just reacting to it. And that's when I realized emotional spending isn't spending. It's emotional survival disguised as shopping. I wasn't buying things, I was avoiding feelings. And avoidance always has a price. I started seeing the pattern clearly. Stress, purchase. Sadness, purchase. Boredom, purchase. I thought I was solving problems, but I was just delaying them. The truth is, every click was emotional regulation, and I was paying for it with my future. So I stopped asking what I wanted, and started asking what I was feeling. And that question changed everything. Not what I can buy, but what I actually need. I started noticing the urge before the purchase, and that space changed the outcome. I still feel it sometimes, but I don't obey it anymore, because freedom isn't about having more things. It's about not being controlled by them, and that's where real wealth begins. Not in spending less, but in needing less. I stopped confusing comfort with happiness, and that made every decision clearer. No more automatic choices, just awareness before action. And that pause is where control lives. I don't need every impulse to become action. I just need to notice it, because awareness breaks the cycle. And
think you can make it to the end? Stay with the story until the final second. Then comment, "I made it to the end," to prove you caught the hidden lesson most people miss. Thousands never finish and lose the biggest insight. Don't stop now. The ending changes everything.
once it breaks, you see everything differently. That's how it started for me. I used to think spending was freedom, but it was actually just impulse in disguise. Impulse never builds anything. It only borrows from tomorrow. And I was tired of paying that price. So I learned to pause. And in that pause, I found control. Not perfect control, just awareness. And awareness changes everything. Because the moment you stop reacting, you start living. I stopped chasing relief in shopping. and started building real stability. It wasn't exciting, but it was real. And for the first time, I wasn't controlled by my emotions. I could finally see the difference between impulse and intention. And that difference changed everything. Not my income, my behavior. And I realized something simple. Most of my spending was never about money. It was about what I was trying to feel. And I didn't need to buy those feelings anymore. I just needed to understand them. And that changed my relationship with everything. Money stopped being emotional and started becoming intentional. That's where control really begins. Not in spending less, but in needing less. I stopped negotiating with impulse. I started observing it instead. And that space between feeling and action is where everything changed. I still live in the same world, but I don't live inside its reactions anymore. And that's the real shift. Not more money, more control. And that's enough. I used to think I was chasing happiness, but I was just avoiding discomfort. Once I saw that clearly, the patterns lost their power, and I finally felt in control. Not because I had more, but because I needed less. And that changed everything. Because control isn't about money. It's about yourself. I don't fight impulse anymore. I just notice it and let it pass. That's the real upgrade. Not more things. More control over yourself. I used to think I needed more control over money, but I really needed control over impulse. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. I stopped trying to fix my life with purchases and started facing what I was avoiding. That changed my habits and my decisions. Now I don't react first. I pause, and that pause is everything. I don't trust impulse anymore. I observe it, and it loses control over me. That's what awareness does. It creates space, and space creates choice. I used to skip that step. Now I don't. I still feel the urge, but I don't follow it. And that's the difference between reacting and choosing. I stopped being automatic, and I started slowing down. Not my life, but my reactions. And that changed everything inside me. I stopped chasing quick relief and started sitting with discomfort. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. I stopped reacting to life like a reflex and started responding with intention. That's where control lives. Not in the purchase, but in the pause. I didn't change the world around me. I changed my response to it, and that made me free. Not because I escaped the system, but because I stopped reacting to it. And that's the real shift. Not more control over money, but control over attention. Because attention is where everything begins. Not with money, but with awareness. I still live in the same world, but I don't live by its impulses. That's the shift. Not more discipline, less reaction. And that's enough. If these videos help you spot the financial traps keeping you stuck and show you practical ways to break free, subscribe now, like this video, comment your biggest money lesson, and share it with someone who needs to see it. Every interaction helps spread the knowledge that could change someone's next financial decision. Don't wait, your future self will thank you.